Red Bull's problem this year hasn't been with their machinery, which is currently giving them everything they could ask for. Rather, their troubles are found in the personalities from within the team. And finally, Max Verstappen is breaking his silence on his father Jos Verstappen's behavior when Sergio Perez won last month's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So where does he stand regarding the issue? There's only one way to find out. Keep watching. Max Verstappen has commented on a video clip that seems to show his father, Jos Verstappen, ignoring Sergio Perez following the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. According to the current two-time world champion, his father's behavior is totally ordinary due to their well-known competitive personalities. If a driver began a Grand Prix in 15th position due to a mechanical malfunction during qualifying and then recovered to achieve second place, they would usually be satisfied with their performance. Verstappen accomplished this feat, while his teammate Perez secured the win. However, Verstappen was dissatisfied because this leveled the score at one victory each for the season. His father, Jos, who was a skilled Formula One driver in his own right, appeared just as unhappy in video footage as he gazed off into the distance while Perez celebrated his triumph. To add to the discomfort for Jos, he happened to be standing right next to Perez's team as they congratulated the Mexican driver, yet he did not extend a handshake or offer any congratulations to his son's teammate. Max, on the other hand, did not notice anything unusual, saying, "Obviously, my father is my biggest fan. I don't like to lose, and neither does my father. That's how we grew up, but they always show the wrong pictures, of course." Checo gets out of the car and wants to celebrate with his mechanics, which is quite normal, but another father does not belong to that party, of course. Therefore, my father did not get in there. I think something like that is completely normal, even if some people don't see it that way. But that's okay, so those people just don't see it that way. At the end of the day, we have to focus on ourselves and not on what the Twitter community thinks. Verstappen retaliated in the following race by dominating the tumultuous Australian Grand Prix and securing a victory, while Perez, who began from the pit lane, had to settle for 5th place. The Mexican driver also acknowledged the uncomfortable interaction with Jos after his victory in Saudi Arabia, but he ultimately downplayed the incident. "I have a good relationship with Jos. We respect each other. We know this is sport, and that's how we treat it. We shook hands, but they probably didn't show that. I saw a few things were written on social media, but sometimes people like to create stories that don't exist. He wasn't smiling much, but you don't have to smile every day and all the time." According to Antonio Perez, Sergio Perez's father, the rumors that Red Bull has offered Max Verstappen special treatment are untrue, and the two drivers are simply quote-unquote the two best tigers in the same cage. Prior to the Australian Grand Prix, some Mexican fans had speculated that Red Bull was showing favoritism towards one of its drivers over the other. However, Antonio Perez stated that the team from Milton Keynes is committed to achieving victory with both of its drivers. He said, "That's a lie, let's be clear. Red Bull is a brand that costs many billions of dollars above Checo and Max. It is a professional team that wants to win with its two drivers. They want to have lap 1 from practice 1, and they want their two drivers to be 1 and 2. There is no favoritism for anyone, it's all speculation. Red Bull has the two best tigers in the same cage, and if they weren't at the same level, what's going on wouldn't be there. Hopefully, more teams and drivers will join the championship. The fight won't just be between Checo and Max." He lauded his son's performance despite his tumultuous career in Formula One, which has seen him drive for Sauber, McLaren, Force India, Racing Point, and finally Red Bull. Checo is doing his job excellently well, and will be in F1 for the next 10 years. After everything lost to what was found, we have a blessing. Checo no longer had a job 2 years ago, and this new stage that Red Bull has opened up for him. Prior to the Australian Grand Prix, Perez had stated to the press that when he joined Red Bull in 2021, the team was only racing with 2 cars because they were required to do so. However, he now feels that he is highly regarded within the team and has an equal opportunity to succeed as Max Verstappen does. Red Bull's team principal, Christian Horner, dismissed the notion that Red Bull had ever operated as a one-car team, stating to Sky Sports, "That is the first time I have heard of him saying that. We have always run 2 cars since we entered the sport in 2005, and we always want to have the best 2 drivers we can in the car." According to Sergio Perez, the general public's view of his rapport with his Red Bull F1 teammate Max Verstappen is incorrect. Perez asserts that the two drivers have significantly more respect for each other than what people may believe. He said, "To be honest, we have a lot more respect for each other than people might think out there. There is a great atmosphere with the team. There is a very high level of respect between each other and the team with all the engineers from their side and my side. I think we are both mature enough to know what's right and what's wrong. As long as that keeps being the case, and I don't expect anything to change." Speaking of Max Verstappen, Damon Hill, a former F1 champion, has suggested that he should retire from the sport amid concerns that the Dutchman is no longer enjoying it. Hill's recommendation came after Verstappen made a series of strange comments ahead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Hill expressed his concern after Verstappen hinted that he might retire from F1 if significant changes were made to the race format. Although the Red Bull driver had already opposed any major changes, he went further by suggesting that this could be a decisive factor in whether he continues to compete in F1. In response to Verstappen's comments, Hill cautioned that his language sounded like that of someone who was losing interest in the sport. He made these remarks during an appearance on the Sky Sports podcast. Max's retirement threat is very unusual. It is kind of strange to hear, isn't it? I mean, what's he gonna do with himself? He should stop now, really. Stop now. He's done it. You mentioned fun. I think that's a very important point. Is he having fun? Because I sometimes think he's not having fun. I think you have to love what you're doing, otherwise it's a grind. Christian Horner has completely dispelled any speculation regarding Formula One design expert Adrian Newey's potential departure from Red Bull to another team, stating that he has complete faith that the chief technical officer will remain with the team in the long term. Newey became a part of Red Bull in advance of the 2006 season, having previously achieved great success with Williams and McLaren. He was instrumental in the team's transformation from a midfield contender to a championship victor. Newey's designs have been responsible for Red Bull's 5 Constructors' Championships and 6 Drivers' Championships, which include a streak of 2 consecutive titles from 2010 to 2013, as well as another pair in 2022. In the meantime, Newey has expanded his work through the Red Bull Advanced Technologies division, balancing his efforts in Formula One with his involvement in the America's Cup sailing tournament and the development of the forthcoming RB17 hypercar. While talking about Newey's future, Horner stated, "His heart is still very much in Formula One, and his commitment to the team it's not something... We don't talk about contracts or longevity of contracts, but he'll be here for many years to come. He's such an important part of our team and popular part of our team. It's great to have him with us for the long term, but also to be involved in projects like some of the things that we're now getting involved in." Thus far this season, Red Bull has won all 3 races and holds a 58-point lead over the closest competition, Aston Martin, in the Constructors' Championship standings. In the Drivers' Championship race, Max Verstappen is ahead of his teammate Sergio Perez by 15 points. So what do you think? Is Max right about his father's actions being perfectly normal? Is Red Bull actually giving special treatment to one of their drivers? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for the latest F1 news.